Hey, what's up, everyone? Hope you're all enjoying America's 250th birthday. Although Trump's kind of been treating it like a bachelor party. 250 years on and off again with different presidents, but now you're finally stuck with me. So, of course, Trump's been working hard to make this a momentous occasion, a party that would make his rich friends super jealous. Unfortunately, the party's looking a little dreary for the rest of us. High gas prices, ongoing wars, and an algae ridden reflecting pool. Not super exciting. So today, I'd like to present a celebratory episode 250 years in the making. We'll be ranking every single US president on a tier list based on their accomplishments, vibes, or whatever else I feel, all while cracking jokes along the way. To be clear, this is not meant to be taken seriously. These rankings are done with humor in mind. So if you're likely to get mad if I make a joke about your favorite president, here's your trigger warning. Thanks. So pick a president to root for and enjoy the show. And of course, make sure to like and subscribe so that I can keep pretending that I'm funny. Thanks, and without further ado, let's get started. George Washington. This man had some serious main character energy. Bro literally started the French and Indian War by accident. Go ahead, look it up. Carried the colonies to victory despite being outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, and outplanned. Became a literal spy mastermind, and then got unanimously elected to lead the country that he just created. And he literally could have become king and kept leading the country, but chose to decline because he was tired of all the aura farming. I mean, seriously, how did Bro get so much screen time during the Revolutionary era? Get out of here. Easy S tier. Second, we've got John Adams, the short king who dreamed of being king. He got angry a lot, lost an election to his own vice president, and then proceeded to rage quit and ride out of town on his horse. In other words, C tier at best. Next up, Tommy Jefferson, America's favorite hypocrite. He promised not to violate the Constitution, then bypassed Congress to buy a bunch of land. He promoted equality, but owned slaves as well. At least follow your own ideals, Tom. Clear D tier. Next, James Madison. Wrote the Constitution, wanted a rematch with Britain, and got DC burned down as a result. Happiest the US ever was to lose. Them and Britain had such a cute toxic relationship. Madison's a C tier, though. Now, here's the second James on the list, and also the last founding father to be president, James Monroe, best known for the Monroe Doctrine, in which he flexed on Europe by telling them to stay out of the Americas, despite being powerless to do so. A classic presidential move. Fake confidence is a clear D tier. John Quincy Adams, son of John Adams, making him America's first Nepo baby. He wrote the Monroe Doctrine and then let Monroe put his name on it, just like a true intern. D tier. Our next president is known for forcing minority groups out of the country, being racist, appealing to white working class men, and expanding executive power. It's my bad, Andrew Jackson. He's also our first F tier. Next up is the one you've all been waiting for. Martin Van Buren fans, you know what time it is. Let me hear it for everyone's favorite president. Nobody? Okay, but he did create the word okay, so S tier. Moving on. William Henry Harrison. He went outside, got a cold, and died. This is why I don't touch grass, people. F tier. Our next president annexed Texas. John Tyler looked at all the potential territory he could take, but we could all tell he was choosing Texas. D tier. James Polk, the guy who spent his single term grabbing a bunch of land for the US, including what would become Oregon and California. Even Polk knows nothing comes close to the Golden Coast when it comes to sky high cost of living. He's chillin' in A tier. Our next president had a 40-year military career, leading the US to many great victories, before finally succumbing to a powerful adversary. Milk and cherries. Yep, that's what killed him. Zachary Taylor, that might be a bit of a skill issue. Out of pity, I'll give you a D tier instead of F. Next up is Millard Fillmore, who diffused tensions over slavery by passing the Fugitive Slave Act with total support from both sides and definitely didn't accelerate the coming of the Civil War as a result. What a brilliant dealmaker who deserves to go right at the top of D tier. Next, we have another brilliant dealmaker, Franklin Pierce, who let the North and South fight a miniature war over whether there would be slavery in Kansas. And I thought that Fillmore set a low bar. D tier. James Buchanan. Where do I even begin? He wanted the Supreme Court to rule against Dred Scott and pretty much legalize slavery across the US, failed to prevent secession, and also he's the only president who never got married. He couldn't keep the Union together or get a second date. F tier.
It's time for the GOAT himself, Honest Abe. I mean, just look at that jawline. Those chiseled features. Clavicular has to be jealous. Abe Lincoln doesn't even need to mew, he just has that natural mog face. Also, he won the Civil War and ended slavery. Peak S tier.
Back to reality, next we have Andrew Johnson, who apparently learned nothing from the Civil War. He just wanted to get back together with the South. He was like, "It's not you, it's me. Please, please, please forgive me." And just like that, the North and the South reunited and continued a toxic relationship fit for a reality TV show. Andrew Johnson, you need to take the hint. The Confederacy isn't into you. F tier. General Ulysses S. Grant. Bro won the Civil War and flexed on the South as soon as they surrendered. Let them leave with their weapons because he knew they weren't a threat. Top tier confidence worthy of a B tier. Our next president, Rutherford B. Hayes, started the annual White House Easter egg roll, the only time of the year when the president hangs out with a giant rabbit and teaches kids about how rampant inflation has caused the price of eggs to skyrocket. I'll be generous and give him a C tier. Our next president is James Garfield. Now, you're probably expecting me to crack a dumb joke about him liking lasagna or being a fat orange cat. And you'd be wrong. I'd never take such a cheap joke. Although I did hear he hated Mondays. D tier. Chester Arthur renovated the White House interior and then burned all of his official papers before he died, understanding that the best way to win a tier list is to delete the evidence. C tier. Next is Grover Cleveland, notable for losing re-election, but you know his catchphrase, "I always come back." If you know, you know.
I mean, seriously, just look at that picture. He's clearly a FNAF villain. Am I wrong? C tier.
We have a short intermission with our 23rd president, Benjamin Harrison, and since we're almost halfway done, I'll give him a score right below halfway on the tier list. C tier. He's back! Grover Cleveland is back, and still in C tier. I think the evidence to my theory is pretty clear, but hey, it's just a theory. Shout out to the legend himself, Matt Pat. Back to ranking presidents, up next is William McKinley. He formalized the gold standard in the United States, ensuring that all future presidents would have a pool of gold to swim in worthy of Scrooge McDuck. Unfortunately, he never got to swim in it. He got assassinated. C tier. Theodore Roosevelt. He made teddy bear. S tier. Next up, the only president who had to get a special giant-sized tub built for him because he would get stuck in a normal one. It's William Howard Taft. He also allegedly ate a steak every morning for breakfast. So, to all those watching from 1909, now you know where your tax money was going. Taft is an obvious D tier. This next president championed the League of Nations after World War II, an organization notable for doing absolutely nothing. And after he proposed it, the Senate wouldn't even let the US join. That's like planning a birthday party and then just not coming. Woodrow Wilson, for standing up the entire international community, you can't get any higher than D tier. Warren G. Harding is known for having a bunch of scandals surrounding him, but mysteriously dying before they could all come into light. Now, who does that remind me of? Oh, right, F tier. On to number 30, Calvin Coolidge. He's notable for nothing. Literally, his entire approach to governance was not doing stuff. Not great, but maybe our current president could learn something from that philosophy. Solid B tier. Up next is Herbert Hoover, who got rich before becoming president and made the whole country poor after becoming president. I think this is summed up quite well by a Ronald Reagan quote. Recession is when your neighbor loses his job, depression is when you lose yours, and recovery is when the president loses his. D tier. Next up is FDR, the only president who decided that term limits didn't apply to him. F tier. Harry Truman, the only president to use nukes in warfare. For better or for worse, that aura alone carries him into an A tier. Next up is Eisenhower, who made highways and NASA. In other words, we have him to thank for Tesla and SpaceX. I always knew he was a secret Elon fan. I'm putting him D tier just for giving us traffic alone. JFK, the president of infinite aura, he prevented nuclear war in the Cuban Missile Crisis, brought the US into the space race, and looked good while doing it. S tier. Do you like invading Vietnam? Do you want a president who loves violating the personal space of other elected officials? Then you'll love Lyndon B. Johnson, the next president on our list. He always got the job done by bullying and physically intimidating political opponents and lying to the public to start a war. D tier. It's Nixon time. F tier. Next is Gerald Ford. He part of Nixon, tripped down Air Force One stairs on camera, and was never elected to anything. Bro speedran the worst case presidency. F tier. Jimmy Carter, notable for being a good person, but a not so great president. But being nice is good. B tier. It's time for the one you've all been waiting for, Ronald Reagan. He rizzed up Gorbachev so hard the Soviet Union collapsed. And for that raw diplomatic game, C tier. Americans love bushes. And it makes sense given their relevance in suburban agriculture. When trees are too unpredictable, trimmed bushes serve as the perfect alternative. Furthermore, the detail with which bushes can be shaped speaks to a deeper volume of human desire for order. Unlike the chaotic sprawl of a wild hedgerow, a properly maintained conclusion, the enduring popularity of bushes can be attributed to a combination of cultural, economic, and horticultural factors. Also, George H.W. Bush is a president, and he started a war, and that explanation was AI generated. D tier. Next up, we have a very special ranking, Bill Clinton. His economic policies created a government surplus and boosted the economy, making it cheaper to rack up frequent flyer miles on a certain private jet. F tier. Now, finally, we've hit Y2K, and with that, we get George Bush, the man who kept Al Gore from stuffing everyone's money in a lockbox and running away with it. Whether you love him or hate him, one thing's for sure, the man was nonchalant. On the day of 9/11, he was reading a children's book to his second grade class, and when an aide informed him that the Twin Towers had been hit, he made sure to finish that book so as to avoid alarming the kids. That's a president who knows how to talk to kids. A tier. Barack Obama, the man who put the aura back in aura office. From creating countless viral memes with Joe Biden to humiliating Trump so badly that he had to run for president, Obama brought some serious light and hope to the United States. There's no other place to put him but high S tier. While Obama was the one making the jokes, our next president was the joke. You know it, it's Donald Trump. He chucked the economy down the drain like it was one of his businesses and pretended it was fine. And when he finally lost re-election, he denied that too. And he has the audacity to call liberals snowflakes. It takes one to know one, Mr. Trump. F tier. We're nearly at the end of our list, and next up is Joe Biden's autopen. While I have no doubt he did well while he was still mentally there, his presidency declined about as fast as his health. But hey, doing nothing is still better than doing whatever the guy before him was up to. Biden's love of ice cream is truly admirable, but his presidency has to go in C tier. And finally, we've reached the last president on our list, coming back for a second term just like Grover Cleveland. It's none other than Donald J. Trump. Like most sequels, the term has been infinitely worse than his first. Thank you to America's 47th best president. Another F tier. So, there it is. 250 years of American leadership, definitively and scientifically ranked by a guy with a microphone and zero credentials. If you disagree with any of these, you're probably right, but I've already committed to the bit. Like, subscribe, and have an amazing 4th of July. Thanks for watching.